My name is Adwoa, and there are many different sides to me. Which side do you know? What you're about to see and hear are some of the stories from my past. Now, a lot of you know me from doing hair, a lot of you know me from filming, but there's a lot about me that a lot of other people just don't know. One thing my mother always said, may she rest in peace, but one thing she always said to me was, if anyone's going to tell your story, you need to be the one to tell it. Why? Because no one can tell your story the way you can. Key word is your story. So there you have it. I am a dweller. You're about to step inside of my life. So without further ado, welcome to my world. I think I left off with telling you guys that my mother found the drugs. If this is your first time looking at this video, go back to the other one, and that way you can see what I talked about at first. Give me a sec. I'm just going to I'll pull up once I see that I have some viewers. Okay. So this is part 2 of the segment about me calling myself selling drugs. All right. So lastly, I think I left off telling you guys that my mother found the drugs, right? So I'm just like, ooh, I'm not really sure if I know I wasn't home when she found the drugs, but it's been so long that that conversation was just like crazy. So anyway, I'll just skip past that part. I'm quite sure she told me, why you doing this, this, that, and the third. I'm quite sure I got grounded and all of that, right? But this is where it gets crazy. This is where that whole story gets crazy. So remember, I was selling drugs for the guy Chocolate. I was selling crack at the time. So now I don't have the drugs, right? And now how am I going to tell Chocolate that I, one, don't have the drugs because my mother found them, and two, I don't have the money. Like, if you're selling drugs for somebody and they gave it to you on like what they call consignment, where you sell it and then you give them back the money, how was I going to give him back the money? So at this point, I started avoiding him for a while. Now, most of the time, I would have to like walk past his building to go like catch the train and stuff, but I would just go the other way. For like a week, I was doing it, just avoiding him. He knew where I lived, but he didn't know my apartment or what floor that I lived on. So it wasn't even like he could just come to my house to be like, yo, where the fuck is my money? You know what I'm saying? So after that, hello, I see I have a viewer. Hello, hello, hello. 2 viewers. Hey, so after that, it was like, it was crazy. So finally he ran into me, right? I don't know what happened. I'm thinking, you know what happened? I was coming home from school. That's what it was. I was coming home from school and I was actually on Neptune Avenue instead of Surf Avenue. He lived on Surf Avenue. So I was walking home from Neptune Avenue, right? So he's like, yo, come here, come here. I was like, oh shit. Now, at the time, this is what I forgot to tell you guys. So still, remember, I gave a white girl that was my so-called home girl, half of the drugs. It had been like a week. This bitch ain't come to school, nothing. So I went to her house like 2 times. She was never home. So it was just like, so what they call it, jumping the fence. So it was like she just jumped the fence and did whatever with the drugs and the money. Okay. So when he was like, come here, I was like, shit. So I couldn't run because he was like the type of cat that you're not going to run from him. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you're not running from Chocolate. So I was like, shit. So I go over there. So he's like, what's up? And I was like, oh, nothing. He was like, yo, you been avoiding me? I've been looking for you. I was like, nah, I had to go to school and stuff. I was busy. So he's like, yo, all right then. Well, where's my money? And I was like, well, I don't have your money. He was like, what you mean you don't have my money? But of course he was cursing a little bit more. So I was like, yo, I don't have your money. So he was like, well, where's the drugs? And I was like, I don't have the drugs either. My mom's found them. He was like, your mom's found them. And I was like, yeah, my mother found them. So he was like, nah, fuck that shit. You gonna give me my money. So at this point, right? Hold on, guys. It's crazy. Hold on 1 second. Trying to see if anyone's gonna leave anything. Let me just turn this down because I can see the chat right here. Let's see. Let me see something about, will it pop up? Okay, yeah, I need to just leave this open. Anyone have any question while I'm talking? Yeah, the chat should be open. So just like leave it down there. So anyway, so to make a long story short, he made me sit downstairs in his building, right? So he had some guy watching me. I had never seen a guy. So he's like, yo, you going to give me my fucking money. So I'm sitting there like, listen, I don't have your money. My mother found the drugs. Like, you know, how am I going to have money without the drugs? I couldn't sell the rest of them because my mom's found them and she got rid of them. So don't you guys know? I gotta take a sip on this one because this was gonna go really ugly really quick. So hold on. See there? I need to drink some liquid courage to finish telling you guys the story. And this is not water. All right, I'm gonna drink it out of a straw. Oh, well, that's strong. Okay, so let's say it was around I want to say 6 o'clock because it used to take me a while to come from the city to get back to Coney Island. So you talking about coming from school, like basically Manhattan going into Brooklyn, right? And that was like the last stop. Coney Island was the last stop. D train, F train. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I'm sitting downstairs, right, in the building, and he was like just ripping, running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So finally he comes back. And he's like, you know what? Since you don't have my fucking drugs or my money, I'm gonna get it out of you somehow. So he was like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have these niggas run a train on you. I wish I could rewind this and say it slow again. In my head, all I heard was, have these niggas run a train on you. So I'm like, what? So I'm sitting there. So I'm trying to figure out, girl, how are you going to get away? How are you going to get out the situation? Keep in mind, I'm 16 years old. He was probably in his 20s, I'm thinking, because he was older than me anyway. So I'm just sitting there, right? So as I'm sitting there, now keep in mind, guys, I'm sitting on the ground in the lobby of like this apartment building, right? So people coming in and out, nobody's thinking nothing of it. You know, in New York, people mind their business. You get what I'm saying? That's good and bad because anything could have happened to me. Clearly, I'm here so you guys know I'm not dead because I'm talking to you guys, right? So, hey, lady. What's up, Maniqua? What's up, Shelly Shell? All right, so yeah, this is the story. Maniqua, you probably remember this. I'm trying to think if you were around during that time. I don't remember. Maniqua's my sister-in-law. Okay, so anyway, let me finish. So he finally comes back, right? Now, keep in mind, this cat chocolate is like rounding up dudes. Just like rounding up dudes like they're about to take me somewhere and rape me. Seriously, I wish I was making this up, but I am not making this up. So, hold on, liquid courage. Oh, what is that? Okay, so anyway, so next thing I know, right, he tells somebody to go get his car. So I'm sitting there like, yo, I ain't about to go nowhere. Niggas ain't gonna be raping me, give me AIDS or something shit. And at the time I was a virgin. So you really ain't doing nothing to me. So it just so happened, right? There was another guy in the building, this guy named Vincent. Now this is a true story. That's his real name. So anybody that knows me and knows him knows that I'm not lying, right? So Vincent came and I don't know, maybe Vincent heard what was going on. Maybe somebody told him because he lived in the same building. So Vincent was like, yo, man, you're not going to, leave Shorty alone, let her go home. You know what I'm saying? That's a young girl. Let her go home. So next thing I knew, he talked Chocolate into letting me leave, but then Chocolate hit me like upside my head. Like all I heard was ringing. I don't know if he smacked me. I don't know if he punched me, but he was like, bitch, you lucky. So basically, if Vincent didn't come and they tried to like make me go in that car, I would have had to like run, fight, do whatever. Because I'm like, y'all not gangbanging me. You're not about to rape me. None of that's going to happen. All this because my fast behind trying to be grown said that I wanted to sell drugs. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? All this because I was like, I wanted to sell drugs. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened. Hold on. Let me sip again. Okay. So like I said, he either punched me upside my head or smacked me or something. The only thing I know is I just heard some ringing. Like, I guess he was like, bitch, you lucky. He saved you. So Vincent ends up picking me up off the floor, like off the ground. Because I'm still just sitting there trying to figure out what the hell am I going to do. So I'm just sitting there. So Vincent's like, come on, yo, I'll take you home. Like, this is ridiculous. So now, what you guys didn't hear me say was, I always had a crush on Vincent. He just never knew that. So I had a crush on him. I don't know, for some reason when I was younger, I always liked older guys. I guess because they had cars, they had their own cribs, they had money. Yeah. I didn't want the guys my age. I wanted the older guys. So anyway, so so I'm like, thank you so much. So now I felt like I owed him my life because I don't know what might have happened to me. You get what I'm saying? I'm young. Nobody's trying to help me. People see me sitting there. They probably see this guy Chocolate rounding up dudes like, yo, we about to go do such and such. Who does that? But he's no longer living today. So yeah. I don't remember how he died. I just know he got killed doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. Talking about chocolate. So anyway, so Vincent ends up taking me home, right? He takes me home and he's like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. So he gives me his phone number and he was like, yo, you ever need anything? Call me. He's like, why'd you even get hooked up with this cat? So I was like, I don't know. I'm sitting there like, I don't know. But at this point, I'm crying. You see, I'm acting all hard now. I was crying at this point. Like, even when Chocolate done hit me upside my head, I was crying. So thank God Vincent was home and he saw what was going on and he saved me, right? All right. So now it's time for me to go upstairs, right? Yeah. So he drives me to my parking lot. I was living in 3405 Neptune Avenue, C-Rise, right? So I go upstairs. My mother's upstairs. Yeah. Remember, now she's home. So, of course, she asked me, what was I doing with the drugs? Why'd I do this? Why'd I do that? Now, what I didn't tell you guys was my cousin. I had a cousin in Coney Island, right? They used to try to keep me out of all of this trouble. He goes by the name of Slice. Yeah. If you're from Coney Island, you know who I'm talking about. So she's like, oh, I'm going to tell Slice what happened. But she called him by his government name. She's like, I'm going to tell him what happened. And it's and the third, because you shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. So, of course, I was on punishment. I don't even think I got my ass whooped. She's probably so shocked that I even was like doing that crazy mess that I don't even think she beat me. I just think she just put me on punishment. So needless to say, at this point now, even though Vincent had saved me, I was still like, what happens if I see Chocolate again? Like, what happens if I see him again or whatever? And I still owe this man money. Now, guys, keep in mind, remember the white girl, remember that? The Russian chick, my home girl. I still hadn't heard from her. So I'm paging her. Still hadn't heard from her, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to see that bitch in school. She got to come back to school. This is how I was talking. So you see I'm cursing, but this is how I was talking. So I'm keeping it real with you guys. All right. So my mother ends up telling my cousin, right? My cousin was not to be fucked with out there in Coney Island. That's just the bottom line. He was not to be fucked with, him and his whole crew. So she ends up telling him, so now I have to talk to him. This is like the next day. So now I didn't even go to school the next day. So now I have to talk to him. And, he ended up talking to Chocolate or whatever. And he said whatever he had to say. By the time I saw my cousin again, he was like, cuz you good. Don't worry about it. Niggas not going to fuck with you. You straight. So I dodged a bullet on that time. Never picked up another drug again. Didn't want to sell drugs. Hello. Didn't want to sell drugs no more. So that was like my drug dealing experience. Terrible. Remember I told you guys I had a crush on Vincent. So me and Vincent started dating. I was, okay, let's see. I'm 16. He might have been like 3-4 years older than me. I was growing up, I was growing up. So I started dating him. Like, we would go to the movies and, to the park and different things like that. So remember I told you guys that they had robbed a guy named Anthony that lived in my building. I used to talk to Anthony. Remember I told you Chocolate did that remember I told you in the other part. If you missed the other part, go back and watch the other part. So hold on. Why is this going in and out? All right. So anyway, what part is that? Yeah. So he's like, don't worry about it. Now I'm going back to my cousin. He's like, you straight, don't worry about all that. So of course now, even though my cousin told me not to worry about it, I'm still like low key, like, well, damn, what's going to happen if I run into this dude? Is he going to be like, yo, you told your cousin on me or what? But thank God, if I did run into him, it was like he went the other way. So I don't know what my cousin said or what he did, but I was cool after that. All right, so that wraps up the drug dealing part. I never even touched the drug to sell. I was over it. That was a short-lived fantasy of mine. I was like, you could not try to sell drugs because you could have died, could have been gang raped, could have got AIDS, could have got anything from them guys if they had raped me. You know what I'm saying? So thank God, God was with me. God has always been with me.